Learning Center at Prince Sultan University presents this webinar on Turnitin, AI in contract cheating.
I will start now, if it is okay with you. All right. So welcome everyone to this training session on Turnitin Feedback Studio. My name is Yasemin Arshan, and I work as training and implementation consultant at Turnitin. I'm based in Istanbul. This is my email address, yarsin@turnitin.com. And if you would like to add me on LinkedIn, I would be happy to be connecting with you over there. So after this training session, probably in the late afternoon, I will be sharing a follow-up email with you, actually with your colleague using e-learning email address. So I will send this follow-up email with the recording, useful links for Turnitin Feedback Studio, the copy of this presentation, and at the same time survey where you can leave your feedback on this training anonymously. And you can leave your questions in the chat. I will be answering them at the very end of this training session. All right. I know that your university has been using Turnitin Feedback Studio for some time with Moodle integration. I will have a brief introduction to Turnitin Feedback Studio. I will call it TFS to cut it short. And then I will touch upon Turnitin's AI writing detection tool, which was released on the 4th of April last year. And I know that you are pretty much interested in this part of the training session. And we will look at assignment settings on Moodle with TFS because of the integration. And I will also show you the help page, and we can go over some of the details regarding the assignment settings, because definitely they will impact how the similarity report will be generated. And then we will interpret a similarity report and then an AI detection report. I will finalize this session with resources, final remarks, and your questions. And as you are an active user of TFS, actually, I know that you're already familiar with our company, what kind of products and services we offer, etc. But most probably your institution is using TFS because of its database. Turnitin has the fastest growing database in the world, content database, I mean. So that is why when you upload a paper on Turnitin.com, or if your students upload their papers on Moodle with Turnitin integration, that means those papers will be checked against the whole database. And as you can imagine, English is the global language. That is why we have the top database in English. And then there are some other worldwide spoken languages follow, and Arabic is one of the top languages as well. So in our database, we have almost 2 billion student papers, almost 100 billion web pages, and almost 90 million published works, namely academic journals and academic articles. And Turnitin has multiple partnerships with learning management systems like Moodle, Blackboard, Sakai, etc., plus Wikipedia, and 95% of top 10,000 journals selected by top research universities worldwide. Specifically, in our database, we have books, journals, conference proceedings, preprints, patents, and student submissions all around the world and in different languages. So you can definitely rely on our database, whatever the language is. And Turnitin Feedback Studio with Moodle direct integration. I know that you are more interested in getting the similarity report and AI report. And you know that our AI tool works only in English documents at the moment. Plus, Turnitin Feedback Studio is the most comprehensive product offered by Turnitin. It not only provides a similarity report and AI report, it also provides feedback and grading tools. That is why you can give meaningful feedback to your students, and at the same time, you will save time while grading. And in the long term, you will cultivate writing excellence in your students. So we will explore these feedback and grading tools. I would like to show it to you from Turnitin.com. I know that you are actively using Moodle, but maybe in your free time, you will check the feedback and grading tools in your Turnitin account, and accordingly, you can utilize them on Moodle as well. Now, let's come to the Turnitin's AI writing detection tool, or AI indicator, as we call it in different ways. So it was released for the first time on the 4th of April last year. And we have 3 dedicated pages, help pages actually, for the AI writing. And there are so many details on that. I'm not an AI scientist, I'm just a trainer. And maybe in your team, there are some experts in AI technology, etc. But of course, as a representative of Turnitin, I also know a lot about AI writing at the moment. So I would like to share what I know about it, especially help page will be very useful for you. Frequently asked questions page and resources, pedagogical resources. I know that it's the tricky subject at the moment because lots of students, instead of right now, contract cheating trends are changing into ChatGPT and other similar tool use. That is why we need to aware of the trends, and at the same time, we need to keep ourselves up to date about this kind of technology. And I would like to share with you. I will be sharing my screen with you. Don't worry about it. We have a help page, and I will be sharing this tab. Okay, now you can see it on my screen. Whenever you have the AI report for an English document, you can see the box in 2 different colors, either in blue or gray. If it is in blue, that means it works, no problem. You can rely on the score over there and you can make an interpretation about this particular student paper. But if you see it in gray, that might mean the file doesn't meet the requirements. What are these requirements? So you can see here, there are 5 of them. File size must be less than 100 megabyte. File must have at least 300 words of prose text in a long form writing format. File must not exceed 15,000 words. I know that this is a bit tricky, especially for theses and dissertations. And our engineers at Turnitin, they are doing their best to increase this word count so that you don't have to divide the paper into different parts. But right now, if the paper exceeds 15,000 words, you will see AI box in Greek, which means it doesn't work. And the file must be written in English. This is the first requirement. And accepted file types for the AI detection are docx, PDF, TXT, and RTF. So whenever you have concerns about the AI writing detection tool, please check this link, and I will be sharing these links with you. So don't worry about that. And also, I will go back to my presentation slides. And in the frequently asked questions page, you will find how our AI writing detection tool has been invented, what kind of developments we have made so far. At the beginning of the release, for example, we were able to only detect ChatGPT and other similar tools in terms of infrastructure. But right now, the detection scope has been extended to many generative AI tools. That is why it really depends on the institution, the teacher, the teams in your university. So it really depends on how you will interpret the score. Turnitin will never accuse anyone of academic misconduct. Even when you hover over the AI box with your mouse, it will tell you caution, review required. Maybe there is no academic misconduct. Maybe you told your students to use Grammarly, Killbot, etc. So it will completely depend on your decision, how to interpret it, and how to what kind of solid decision you are going to take. All right, so Turnitin will never tell you you have to penalize this student. So we completely avoid this kind of discourse, let's say. And also in your conversations with your students, maybe you can include some of the content in our pedagogical resources. Please check them. Highly recommended that you check them in your free time. All right. And there are some other details that I would like to share with you. Right now, AI report is not visible to students because Turnitin would like to make sure that every, or at least the majority of the educational institutions all around the world are completely fine with their academic integrity policies regarding the use of generative AI tools. That is why it will depend on you to share the report with your students or not. You can download it from your account, you can share it electronically, you can print it, and you can maybe share it in your office hour with your student. So we are actually waiting for it to release it to the students' accounts, but we still have time ahead because there are still lots of discussion all around the world about in what ways AI use will be acceptable in student assignments, for example. And I guess I'm done for now about the AI writing detection tool. I will definitely show you a sample. All right. And our AI writing detection tool is highly accurate. So we can say that actually Turnitin is quite transparent about the accuracy of our tool. But still, there is a small, like minor likelihood of false positives, and we should be aware of them, especially if there is a transition between human written text and AI written text. There might be some false positives. What is a false positive? A false positive refers to incorrectly identifying fully human written text as AI generated. So our engineers at Turnitin, they will tell you, this is your student, this is your institution, this is your country and region. So you know it better than us because you are in it. That is why it will completely depend on you how to, take an action, what kind of action you will take. Turnitin's AI writing detection focuses on accuracy, and we aim to have, less than 1% false positive rate, but still there is a small risk of false positives. Our document false positive rate is less than 1% for documents with 20% or more AI writing. So when you see the AI score less than 20%, it will give you a warning message over there. There is a higher likelihood of false positive here. It will tell you. So please watch out the warning messages from Turnitin, and you can definitely rely on them because we have received so much feedback about Turnitin's AI writing since the beginning of the release. Our sentence level false positive rate is around 4%. This means there is a 4% likelihood that a specific sentence highlighted as AI written might be human written. So the incidence for this is more common in documents that contain a mix of human and AI written content, particularly in the transitions between human and AI written content. All right. So our document false positive rate is definitely and absolutely less than our sentence level false positive. And in your free time, please check this video by David Adamson, our AI scientist, one of our AI scientists. So he explains it as a former high school teacher. So what is a false positive? In what ways you should, take it into consideration when you see a low or higher score. All right. And I guess the video is open. Yeah, the help page, just a second. I will move forward with my, okay. Now, you should be aware that we have the native platform to use Turnitin Feedback Studio, Turnitin.com. And I know that you are using Moodle actively because it saves time. You don't have to use both of the platforms at the same time. It is really more practical. But I would like to show you something. Maybe in the future, there will be a document that you don't want to upload on Moodle. Maybe there is an article you have, and you would like to get the similarity report and AI report. Now, I would like to show you how to activate Quick Submit. So Quick Submit can be seen as a box here because I have activated in my account. I will click on my name in the black toolbar, and in the account settings on the right side, on the third line, I will see Activate Quick Submit, and I will say yes. And then when I click on Submit, quick submit box will appear here. So it's a very practical tool. I will show you very quickly how to upload a document. So you can use this alternative download method independent from Moodle. So when you upload on quick submit, it will not appear on Moodle. So there, it is not synchronized. So it's a very independent tool for uploading a document. I will repeat myself in the account settings, activate quick submit. You will click on submit, and then you will see it as a box here. And I would like to show you very quickly. So I have some other accounts I have been added as an instructor. You can see on quick submit, I have uploaded lots of documents. And there are no folders, no classes, no students. It is my area, my spot to download, to upload papers and get the similarity report. So you can see all the documents are listed according to the similarity score. So from the lowest to the highest. So there is no organization other than this. As you can see, this is the maybe one disadvantage, but a very minor one. And how to submit a paper by using quick submit, I will show it to you. I will click on submit, and then I will see all of the database sections, internet pages, student papers, periodicals, and my account. And in your case, you will see the name of your university, Prince Sultan University. So please check all these boxes. Otherwise, can you imagine if I copy and paste from a website, for example, it will not be detected if I don't check this box. So I'm including all of the parts in the database. And then if it is my article, I should not save it into the repository because academic journal will also upload it on Turnitin, most probably. So no repository. No repository means on Moodle, I guess the wording is don't store any submissions. No repository means you are not saving any papers into our database and it will not appear in similarity matches in the future. If it is my article and if the academic journal uploads it with the, for example, if I do standard paper repository, academic journal will get 100% similarity, which is not acceptable, right? So that is why I should not save it into the repository, no repository. And then I will click on submit. I will write my name, surname, submission title. I can see that I'm not saving it into the database. I'm on the safe side. I can upload my article again and again after my revision, for example. So it will definitely make the workflow ideal for me. And then I have to choose the file from the computer, Dropbox or Google Drive. And then when I click on upload, you will see that the file is being processed, and most probably your articles will not be as long as a PhD dissertation, for example. So it will take 2 or 3 minutes. You will get the similarity report and AI report. All right. So quick submit is definitely a practical tool. Keep it as an alternative other than Moodle, and you can use it for your personal purposes, for example. And it will not affect any quota in your institution because according to your license, you have the limit only for the number of students. All right. So now we are okay. We are done with the platform because I know that you are not using it actively. Now I would like to come to the, just a second, I will be sharing my screen. Yes, this is the help page. Whenever you have a question in your mind, please check this very detailed help page. And here, for example, creating an assignment part is very important. If you have not used Moodle Turnitin integration before, you can check this help page, for example. I would like to show you, for example, here, creating an assignment. All right, why is it slow? Maybe because of my internet connection. There's a lot of rain in Istanbul today, and it affects our internet connection. Anyway, so here, this is a very old version of Moodle. I don't know which version of Moodle you are using, but probably user face is different. But here you can see basic assignment options, for example, and I will be talking about them in my own Moodle account. So you can see all the details and explanations. All right, so this is a very detailed page, and I'm sure that it will be helpful for you. And I will be sharing this link with you as well. Now, this is Moodle 4.1. So as I told you before, user face, interface, whatever it is called. So it might be a little bit different, but assignment settings are definitely the same. All right. So here, I would like to start. Turnitin assignment name. So depending on your planning, you can write the title here, and then summary. So if you would like to give extra information about the assignment, you can put them here and your students will be able to see it. And then display description on course page. If you would like to make it visible to your students, it is completely up to you. And then submission type. Many times I know that educators would like to go for file uploads because they would like to have it in Word, PDF, PowerPoint, whatever. And then number of parts, maybe the assignment will have multiple parts, and depending on the type of assignment, you can change it. Site upload limit, 100 limit. It is the top one, as you can see. Otherwise, Turnitin cannot generate a similarity report. That is why the top, the highest size is 100 megabyte. Anonymous marking. Anonymous marking is an interesting feature. I know that some of the institutions in our region, they use it. Anonymous marking will allow you to do the grading without seeing the name and surname of the student. So it is anonymous. You can use it or not. It is not a top priority in the assignment settings. So it is completely up to you. Allow submission any file type. This, if we say yes here, maybe as a student, as one of your students, I will upload a file in an image format. Turnitin cannot generate a similarity report for an image file. So that is why it would be risky, to say yes. I will, as a previous educator, based on my previous experience, I can also say that no is safer, definitely. Display similarity reports to students. So this is also about the institution's decision, or maybe teachers, instructors will take an independent decision about it. So if you display similarity reports to students, then they will see the similarity score and they will get the similarity report, but not the AI report, because AI report is not visible to in students' accounts yet. All right. So we know that some of the, actually the majority of institutions, I can tell you, in my experience at Turnitin, universities would like to share the similarity report with their students so that they can be aware that we are making an investment into academic integrity to reinforce it across our institution, and they would like to guide their students about what is plagiarism, what is acceptable, what is not. So it can be a formative learning opportunity for your students if you guide your students about it. So it will depend on your institution. And then great display. So most of the time, I guess instructors will go for, maximum 100. You will give your student, for example, 75. So great display is usually this one, I believe. Auto refresh scores. So if you refresh grades after the deadline, the system will refresh all the grades. If you go for standard paper repository, and can you imagine, I have copied and pasted from another student. If you refresh the reports, and it will be detected that there is student collusion. So I have copied and pasted from another student. That is why refreshing grades and scores after the deadline, it might be very helpful in terms of understanding if there is student collusion or not. And if you would like to set these values as assignment defaults, that means whenever you create a Turnitin assignment on Moodle, you don't have to think about the assignment settings, because I know that there are so many settings here, and each time you don't have to think about it. And then, of course, um, in this example, there are multiple parts. So part one, you can multiply the parts. You have to write a start date, due date, post date, and maximum mark. And then there are other important settings. Allow submissions after the due date. So yes or no, it will depend on your decision as an instructor. So some teachers will choose, late submission would be okay with me. Some teachers, maybe they would like to discipline their students about the deadlines, keeping the deadlines. Report generation speed. This will impact a lot of things. That is why I would like to get your attention at this point, special attention. So generate reports immediately. Students cannot resubmit. If there is an assignment that you set, it will not require any drafting. One shot, one single draft and similarity report will be generated. That's it. This is the end of the process. If you have this kind of planning, then the first option might be very useful. The second one, it will allow a drafting process. Let's assume that I'm your student. I have uploaded my paper and there is 53% similarity. It is very high. Maybe I have some citation issues. Maybe I have heavily relied on quotations, direct quotes, indirect quotes. So there are so many similarity matches on the similarity report. And I can make my changes, make my revision and changes, and then I can upload a new draft. When I upload a new draft, the previous one will be deleted entirely and permanently. No one will have access to it. So the new draft will be in the first place. All right. And after the third resubmission, reports generate after 24 hours. We put this kind of limit here because can you imagine a student will upload 122 drafts and probably it will lock the system. Can you imagine thousands of students do the same? That is why we put this limit here. We believe that maximum 3 resubmissions will be sufficient anyway. So until the deadline, as a student, I can I can upload new versions of the same paper, and each time there will be a new similarity report generated. So after the third resubmission, reports generated after 24 hours. This is a very important piece of information. Sometimes teachers email me, Yasmin, we cannot get the similarity report. This is our 5th time in the same assignment. Yes, because the system will make you wait for 24 hours after the third one. All right. And the last one, I don't know if it is favorite for you or not, but I don't think that a lot of instructors are using this option, generate reports on due date. I'm a very curious teacher, educator. I will not wait until the deadline to get the similarity report. So, and students can resubmit until due date, but they will not see their similarity score. So it's not very functional, honestly speaking. So the first one and second one, depending on your workflow, planning, and your decisions in the institution, you can go for the first one or second one. All right. Store student papers. This makes a huge difference. So I always recommend educators, if there is a thesis, dissertation, your article that you would like to submit to an academic journal, don't save them into the repository because we know that they will be uploaded again on Turnitin. If you save them, the next time you will get a very high similarity score because there will be a clash between different versions of the thesis, dissertation, or article. And most probably you are not uploading your article on Moodle anyway, but standard repository means you are saving it into our database. And standard repository might be very functional, very useful if there is student collusion, as I told you before. If we copy and paste from each other, and if my teacher saves these papers into the repository, it will be detected I have copied and pasted from another student. All right, so there are pros and cons of both of the options. So it really depends on what kind of content the file has and what is your purpose when you create this assignment. All right, and then so here, of course, there are database sections, student papers, internet pages, academic articles. Of course, yes. I guess by default, they are yes anyway. So don't change them into no, because you will cancel if you, for example, say no to student papers, you will cancel billions of papers. I mean, you will cancel a database with billions of student papers. All right. So you will not have a healthy similarity score, let's say healthy. All right. And then this part will also depend on your decision, even as an institution. Maybe as a, you will have a team meeting and you will decide on, which criteria you will have for the assignment settings. Filters. On Turnitin, a similarity report is generated for each of the student papers. We don't call it a plagiarism report because it shows the similarity to the database. So you have to understand if there is plagiarism or not, depending on the filters. And also you have to check the red flags on the similarity report. So not only similarity score will be giving you some info, about the student paper. So similarity score is one part of the process. You have to check where do the similarity matches come from. Are they plagiarized, or they are just simply maybe some word by word or sentence level similarity matches? They are not related to plagiarism at all. So we will need to apply filters for sure. But this would be my recommendation for you. I never apply filters in the assignment settings because I would like to see student papers without filters first. I would like to check it quickly without filters, and then I will apply the first and the second filter on the similarity report. I will tell you the reason when I show you the similarity report. I would like to see, the raw score, similarity score, and then I will apply the filters. Of course, it will drop the similarity score, and then accordingly, I will make a decision about this paper. So what are these filters? Exclude bibliography. Exclude bibliography. Bibliography, works cited, references at the end of the paper. So many times on many occasions, bibliography is not plagiarized. Either students created the list of references, or maybe they use such tools like Google Scholar, and it's a legitimate source, right? So in many cases, bibliography is not plagiarized. But still, especially younger students at the beginning of their university life, if they have not been trained on academic integrity earlier, they can add some references in their list, and actually they don't exist, because they would like to show their teachers, you see, I have more than 10 resources in the bibliography, because they would like to show their teachers that they are hardworking, they have found lots of resources. This is not a very common practice, luckily, but there might be fabrication of sources. And I will show you an example. Exclude quoted material. If there are quotes in double quotation marks at the beginning and at the end of the sentence, you can filter it because they are not plagiarized. If there is a proper citation in quotation marks, you can exclude them from the similarity matches. The third and the last filter, I would recommend it you using it for theses, dissertations, articles, more scientific material. Because we know that, for example, in the PhD dissertation, there are so many scientific terms repeated, especially if the topic is, law, medicine, theology. Maybe there are some statements, they are not plagiarized, but they increase the similarity percentage. So you can exclude small matches. I don't recommend it to short student assignments, done on a regular basis, maybe weekly, monthly, or quarterly, let's say, for example. So the third filter, many times you will not need to use it, honestly. So the first and second filter, we will apply them. Yeah. And if you like, you can definitely say yes to them in the assignment settings, but it really depends on your decision. But my preference would be not applying the filters in the assignment settings because I will have them on the similarity report anyway. Translated matching. This would be helpful, especially in Arabic assignments, or maybe you have some assignments in different languages like German, French, I don't know. I have tried it with my own language, Turkish. Most probably Google Translate works well between English and Arabic as well, because Google Translate has improved a lot in the recent years. So I have a text in English on turkishculture.org, and I have translated it from English into Turkish on Google Translate, and I put it into my Turkish assignment because I'm a lazy student and it's a long assignment. I don't want to bother myself by writing the sentences. So this is what I've done. It is plagiarism. So Turnitin will check my paper in Turkish, first of all, in Turkish database, in your case, maybe in Arabic. So it will check it in Arabic database. Then on the similarity report on the right side, it will tell you view the English sources, and it will check the paper in English database as well. So there will be two checks in two different languages. So if the assignments are in Arabic, in German, French, Spanish, whatever the language is, activate translated matching, and it will show you maybe another perspective of the paper if there is translation from English into other languages. It works in this way, not vice versa. All right. So here now we are coming to the last part. I don't know how actively you use the feedback and grading tools. I was going to show you on Turnitin.com. Now I remember it. There are so many details to cover. So you can use feedback and grading tools here. For example, you can launch rubric manager, and we have so many rubrics in our website. Yeah, you can check them in your free time. Enable grammar check. Actually, grammar check, I guess they cut it short. It is called originally ETS E-Rater. We have partnership with Educational Testing Service, which is the owner of TOEFL and GRE tests. So they provide, because of our partnership, they provide a tool for the assignments written in English. And just like me, and just like many of us probably in the group here, it is very useful for the non-native speakers, especially non-native speakers of English. So it will provide grammar check in categories: spelling, grammar, usage, mechanics, and style. And according to the handbook you have selected, you can choose advanced at university level. I know that Prince Sultan University is a very good university in your zone, in our region. Actually, Turkey is included as well. So maybe you can select advanced. Maybe your students have a lower level of English, then you can go to English learners. So dictionary, US English, UK English, for me, it really doesn't matter as long as my students use it in the correct, accurately. So, but at the same time, if you would like to have a consistency, you can select any of the dictionaries here, and feedback categories, you will check all of them. ETS E-Rater, enable grammar check. So it will appear in purple on the similarity report if you activate it. If it is not assignment in English, like let's say in Arabic, it will not work. So you can say no. And if you don't agree with the one piece of feedback, for example, provided by ETS e-rater, you can click on the trash symbol and you can get rid of it. Because sometimes I have an example like this. The English level is very good in the paper, and it provides very like little feedback, like bits and pieces that are not very relevant to my student, for example. So I can definitely cancel some of the pieces of feedback given by ETS e-rater. That's it about the assignment settings. Now, before, I will not cancel it. Before coming to the similarity report, I will show you where is the library in your Turnitin account. When you click on a class, you will see libraries. And in the libraries, you have quick marks, rubrics, grading forms, peer mark questions, teaching tools. So these are all preloaded and reusable materials and tools, let's say, not materials, tools, and they are all available in English. For example, you can put your own, let's say, Arabic quick mark set, and you can leave feedback on your students in Arabic, for example. So it's a very practical tool, and I will show it to you in my similarity report. All right, now we have 20 minutes left. And I've heard that some of the messages in the chat. Hopefully, I will leave the last of 5 minutes for the questions. So now let's come to an assignment, and I will be sharing my screen. Okay, I guess I have applied filters. I will cancel it so that you can see the raw score. All right, so 27% similarity. It's not very high, right? My first judgment would be, okay, I guess we can do something about it. I can tell my student to write a revised version, or I will, yeah, I will have a judgment about the similarity score, right? When I apply the filters, probably you know it already. When you apply the filters, you will see it will drop to 10%, which is quite acceptable, right? But in fact, there are so many issues in this paper which will cause me not to accept it. I will show you. That is why we should not be judgmental about the similarity score immediately. I'm aware that a lot of institutions around the world, they have a threshold, right? They would like to accept, for example, this is not our recommendation, by the way, this is university's decision. They would like to accept between 15%, 25%, for example. This one, it will drop to 10%. Let's assume that our threshold in your university is 20%. 10% is quite acceptable. But I cannot accept this paper. There are so many academic misconduct issues. That is why we recommend not having a judgment immediately according to the similarity score. We have red flags. We need to check the similarity matches, where they come from. They are plagiarized or not. And also, I will check the AI score. So there are so many things to consider. Here, even from the beginning, there is copy-paste plagiarism. So the student has copied from the sixth source, an internet source, no quotation, no citation, nothing. So copy-paste plagiarism. And then there is a quote here in quotation marks. This is fine. Then there is a quotation without any citation. I cannot, this is not acceptable, right? I will tell my student, no, you should definitely write your reference. And then there is this paragraph, almost copied and pasted completely. But there is, of course, I know, because there are hidden quotation marks here. You will see it in the red flags here, copied and pasted, as you can see. And then there is mosaic plagiarism. Student copied and pasted a paragraph, but modified, maybe the sentence structure, use synonyms or antonyms, made some changes. And then there is another issue here, This time, if there are 3 sentences, 3 of them have been taken from different sources. This is another mosaic plagiarism. So it looks like, especially this one, that there are missing parts in the puzzle. All right. And then there are not many issues in the references. In the references, there must be similarity matches, right? Because they have been mentioned many times in academic journals, websites, student papers. But what about this one? Smith and Zhang's book. And it was published in 2016. It's a very recent one. And it's in English. How come it doesn't appear in similarity matches? That's weird. I will definitely double check it on Google, not Google Translate, on Google, and there is no trace of it because the student has fabricated it. It doesn't exist. Sometimes students do it, unfortunately, fabrication. This is another form of cheating. And then, of course, this might be a little bit acceptable, but at the same time, I will tell my student, please don't copy and paste the references from another student paper because this is not your work anyway. So you need to create your own reference list. Maybe with Google Scholar, maybe you will do it one by one. I mean, this is semi-plagiarism, in my opinion. I don't know if you will agree or not. So I have checked the paper from the beginning to the end. And also I would like to see the red flags. There is hidden text. My student most probably has paid someone else to do the assignment because it says order number. In the original file, I don't see any issues. There is a reasonable amount of space at the beginning of the assignment, but actually there is a text here hidden at the white background. And also my student has copied and pasted this paragraph, you will remember it, and put some dashes, hiding them at the white background again. And here, the student has hidden the quotation marks this time at the white background. And also, you will find it a little bit funny. I know that was my initial reaction. So students sometimes hide the whole paragraph to inflate the word count. You tell them to write an essay at least 2,000 words. They are stuck in 1,800. They can hide a whole paragraph. In the original file, I don't see anything wrong because this marks the end, this paragraph marks the end of the essay, and then references start. Okay, the student would like to show it to me that the essay is over. All right, this might be my perception about it. And then another issue might be, this is an assignment written in English. It must be Latin characters, but there are Cyrillic letters, and you might see Greek. They might be pronounced in a different way. I'm not familiar with any of the languages, like with Cyrillic alphabet or Greek alphabet, but as you can see, Latin E is similar to another character in Cyrillic alphabet, or Latin O is similar to O, let's say in Greek. And I've seen it even in thesis, I can tell you. I've seen like 237 Cyrillic characters. You should definitely pay attention to this part. All right, so this is important. And can you imagine, it has dropped to 10% similarity, but there are so many issues in it. That is why you should definitely pay attention to it. And then I can see that we are running out of time. So I will quickly talk about, you need to check the similarity. And when you click on the student paper, if it is a student paper uploaded at another university, you cannot see the content because it's the intellectual property of another university. But if it is a paper uploaded in your institution, you can at least make a comparison between 2 contents. All right. So
thank you for watching our webinar. If you need any support, kindly contact us via our contact information.